We operate with the highest scientific capability in history, yet we are watching massive populations actively reject institutional guidance on health, climate, and policy. Experts call this the credibility gap. Over the last few decades, institutions have communicated their decisions through dense, opaque channels. As a result, public faith in everything from environmental reporting to public health mandates has steadily eroded. Society is actually not suffering from a lack of scientific data. We are suffering from a collapse of trust in the systems providing that data. To understand why this trust collapsed, we have to look at how we traditionally create knowledge. For centuries, we have relied on the lonely scientist approach, a system where isolated experts diagnosed complex problems strictly on their own. These experts craft policies behind closed doors, formulating rigid rules that are pushed downward onto the public. This creates a severe diagnosis-to-solution lag. Because decision-makers are far removed, the resulting policy fails to account for local realities. When citizens are treated as passive recipients of rules rather than active participants in creating them, alienation sets in. They feel unheard, and naturally, they reject the solutions. Fixing this credibility gap means confronting a simple reality. We do not have a data problem. We have a participation problem. The necessary pivot is to dismantle that lonely scientist model entirely. In its place, we need a shared architecture built on collaborative legitimacy. Logistically, that sounds impossible. How do you actually involve millions of everyday citizens in complex scientific and policy decisions without creating total chaos? This is where artificial intelligence enters the equation. In this framework, AI works as an engine to scale human participation, not replace it. AI can instantly process massive amounts of decentralized grassroots data submitted by everyday people. It filters the noise, cross-references the inputs, and aggregates individual observations into verified, actionable intelligence. By leveraging that processing power, we can transform citizens from passive care recipients into active, contributing citizen scientists. We are already seeing this collaborative model solve specific crises around the world. Take Uganda's urban housing crisis, where top-down engineering mandates historically ignored the needs of vulnerable populations. Today, grassroots communities are using AI-powered platforms to actively log hyper-local soil data and monitor flood patterns in their own neighborhoods. AI aggregates that crowdsourced information into rigorous, policy-ready insights. Engineers use those community readouts to design climate-resilient shelters that survive local conditions. In Saudi Arabia's healthcare sector, citizens are bypassing the wait for traditional clinical networks. Instead, they use mobile-based symptom mapping and environmental sensors to report their health metrics directly. AI processes this continuous stream of decentralized health data, allowing medical professionals to identify localized disease patterns long before hospitals ever detect a trend. We see similar barriers in Nigeria's governance sector, where archaic, dense legal texts completely isolate the public from the decision-making process. Platforms like Fact Check Africa deploy AI to translate these complex policies into accessible, queryable formats in local languages, allowing citizens to actually understand and engage with the laws governing them. Bridging the credibility gap requires exactly this: making public science and policy visible, verifiable, and collaboratively owned by the community itself. The evolution of this model is a collaborative ecosystem where accountability is shared and continuously validated by everyone involved. In this system, trust is built through the act of participation. When data is gathered by the community and verified by the community, the evidence becomes impossible for the public to ignore because they helped create it. This circular flowchart illustrates how that transparency applies to the circular economy. By using AI to track and trace supply chain data at every node, industries can provide a clear audit trail that proves they are maintaining zero-waste resource loops. In higher education, universities are deploying AI feedback dashboards that process real-time labor market signals, continuously aligning their curriculums with the actual skills employers need. An AI-enabled participatory ecosystem ensures that human systems adapt to the actual measured needs of society, rather than theoretical assumptions made in isolation. AI succeeds when it is used to organize and connect collective human intelligence. Building lasting, credible solutions requires us to honor our differences, share the credit, and construct collaborative frameworks for scientific knowledge. The isolated expert can diagnose a problem fast, but it is only together that society can solve it far.